And we fade in. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Scene to Screen. If the words didn't show up here, that means I couldn't figure out how to do it in editing. But just imagine, like, they're right here. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel, Scene to Screen, where we cover everything from the scene, the making of the scene, the appreciation of the scene, the writing of the scene, to the screen, movies, films, TV shows. This channel is dedicated solely to the passion of movies and film. Whether it's the creative aspect of making and creating them, or just enjoying them from the audience. My name is Austin Knoll. I'm a filmmaker. I love films, I love movies, I love TV shows. And I wanted to create this channel just to share that love and passion. Now, this being my first video, I think it's only fair to share a little bit about myself. Now, obviously, you guys don't care about who I am. Maybe once I get to 100,000 subscribers, people will start to care about me. Maybe a little bit. Probably not. So because of this, I've created a segment for the show, which I'll be using for every new person that comes on, whether it's a co-host or a guest. Simply called Me in a Minute. Okay, so timer on the screen. If it's not there, once again, I could not figure out how to do it in editing. Here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. My name is Austin. My favorite movies of all time are Inception and Interstellar. I love Christopher Nolan and Syncope. My favorite TV show of all time is The Walking Dead, so expect a lot of Walking Dead material and coverage from this channel. I also love Prison Break. Love Prison Break. It's coming back. I'm excited about that. I'm actually in the process of finishing my first professional short film, so that'll be on here. Keep a lookout for that in the next couple weeks. I love writing and directing my own films. And the writing that I lean towards is very character-driven pieces. So, very dramatic, where the characters are the driving forces of the story. So, whether there is action or there's not, whether it's funny, as long as the character and what the character is going through and the character's emotions are pushing the story forward, that's what I'm into. So, that was me in a minute. As these things go, they'll get more exciting. Obviously, this is my first video. So, as the videos go on, prepare to get your mind blown by the amount of creativity and insaneness and fun we'll have. I guarantee it. Alright, so real quick, this being my first video on the channel, I'm going to quickly run you guys through the different segments and the different videos we'll be having. There's not a full schedule yet for the channel and for the videos, but this is what you guys can expect from this channel. First off, I want to let you guys know that this channel will not only be me by myself. So if you think I'm a boring guy, if you hate the way I talk, if you think I don't have enough ideas, then don't worry, because most of my videos will be with a co-host. A lot of them are my friends or my filmmaking buddies or people who share my passion in TV shows and movies and stuff like that. The first one I have planned is for January 2nd, so make sure you subscribe and get ready for that. It's going to be me and my friend Chandler going through our top 10 movies of 2016. So I'm really excited about that, and I hope you guys are too. It's going to be great. Also, this channel, like I said, is very dedicated to not just the passion and admiration of movies, but the creative side. At this point, I already have several interviews with industry professionals lined up. My goal is to have a constant stream of industry professional interviews coming through this channel. And lastly, this channel is not just about the facts and the advice and that kind of stuff. It's also about having a lot of fun and, like I said, spreading the passion and the fun and the love of movies and film and TV shows. How do you do that? Through games. This channel is going to be packed full of videos of games and activities based around entertainment and movies and TV shows. I have a ton of ideas that I'm sure you guys are going to love. I'm so excited to do them with my friends, and it's going to be a great time. So Keep a lookout for that. That pretty much sums up the channel itself. Keep a lookout for all of those things coming soon on the channel. I'm super excited about all that stuff. I've said that countless times, but I can't wait. So now that you guys are familiar with what the channel is about and what we're going to be doing on the channel, let's try it out. Here are 5 accidental scenes in popular movies. So for some of these, I'm sure some of you have heard of them before, but to me, they were very interesting, so let's get into it. So the first one comes from the movie Alien. If you haven't heard of it, you got problems, okay? One of the most popular scenes in the movie is when the alien pops out of the stomach of one of its victims. And while this scene may not have been accidental, it was in the script, it was meant to be that way, the reactions of the rest of the cast were unexpected. And what I mean by that is, when the cast was informed about the chest buster scene, they were only given very vague details as to how it was going to happen. So when the alien actually popped out of the stomach of the guy, everyone freaked out. I mean, if I was on set and I didn't know exactly how it was going to happen, and an alien came out of the guy's stomach right in front of me, I'd be freaking out. So if you're curious about it, go back and watch that scene again and look at the actors' expressions. It's totally on the spot. They had no idea what was happening, and they were genuinely freaked out, which is awesome.
What's the matter? The food ain't that bad, baby.
Are you choking? What's wrong? Hit him on the back. What's wrong? He's hemorrhaging. Get him down. Breathe.
Coming in at number 4, and these are ranked. They are based on my coolness factor. What I thought were the coolest ones are up higher, but of course they're all interesting, and you guys can have your own opinions on it. Whatever. Blah blah blah. Opinions. Coming in at number 4. Once again, you're gonna hear me say this countless times on this channel because I love movies. If you have not seen Saving Private Ryan, y'all got problems. And in one of the main fighting scenes in the movie, there's a break in fighting for a little while where both sides kind of stop fighting. And during this brief break in the fighting, Captain Miller, Tom Hanks, sits down with Private Ryan, who's played by Matt Damon, and they kind of swap stories about what it was like back home before the war. And there's one story in particular that Matt Damon tells about his brothers. As a matter of fact, it was all made up by him during filming. None of it was scripted. None of it was written down by the writers to have some kind of impact in the script. But Matt Damon thought this story out as they were filming, and it came out like a masterpiece.
So now Dan is just so mad at us. He starts coming after us. But at the same time, Alice is over there unconscious. He's got to wake her up. So he grabs her by a leg, and he's dragging her. At the same time, he picks up a shovel, and he's going after Sean. And Sean's saying, "What are you trying to hit me for? I just did you a favor." And so this makes Dan more angry. He tries to swing this thing. He loses the shovel, goes out of his grasp, it hits a kerosene lantern. The thing explodes. The whole barn almost goes up because of this thing. That was it. That was Dan went off to basic the next day. That was the last night the 4 of us were together. That was 2 years ago.
Now, I've come to the conclusion that it is almost impossible to get through a conversation about movies without mentioning The Dark Knight. So, with that in mind, I actually have 2 of these, both involving the Joker, Heath Ledger. Now, the first scene is when Officer Gordon is finally able to capture the Joker and bring him into jail, and everyone around him, all his comrades, are patting him on the back and giving him praise for actually capturing the Joker. Now, there's a shot in this scene with the Joker sitting down on one of the benches in one of the jail cells, clapping sarcastically at Officer Gordon. And as a matter of fact, this was not written in the script. Originally, Christopher Nolan just wrote it where all the other officers were giving Gordon praise. But during the filming of this scene, he noticed on the sideline that Heath Ledger was playing along and clapping sarcastically at his accomplishment. And he thought it was really cool, so he kept the camera rolling and aimed it at Heath, and there you have it. It seems that sometimes the most interesting scenes and the most famous scenes can be the ones that were not scripted and were because the camera kept rolling. So the second one from The Dark Knight is the one which I think a lot of you may have already known. But in case you didn't, I think this is extremely cool because it involves the scene where the Joker is dressed up as a nurse and is walking out of the hospital that he blows up. Now, originally, the idea was for the entire hospital to explode in one giant blast when the Joker pressed the detonator that was in his pocket. But I guess there was a problem in the wiring or the way it worked, because when the Joker pressed the button, only half of it blew up. And it was a really small explosion and not very spectacular for being on screen. And because the explosion of the hospital was only able to be done in one scene, because, after it explodes, it's kind of done, Heath Ledger kept playing with the scene, and when it didn't work out, if you've seen the scene, the Joker looks down at the thing all confused and presses a little while until it actually does blow up, and he looks all startled and he walks off. And because they were only allowed to do one scene of that, because the explosion would destroy everything, they kept the cameras rolling, and it ended up being one of the best scenes in the entire movie because of how weird it was and how off-key it was and how it totally fit with the Joker's character and personality. And last but not least, we're going back to Indiana Jones, The Raiders of the Lost Ark. Now this scene is definitely a standout in cinematic history. Not as much because of the accident in the scene, but mainly because what happened was just so unexpected. So in the scene where Indiana Jones is chasing Marion Ravenwood after she's been captured, he's confronted by this sword-wielding bad guy, and they're surrounded by the townspeople. And it was originally written to be a long, drawn-out fight scene between Indiana Jones and this sword-wielding bad guy. But as coincidence has it, earlier that day, Harrison Ford, who plays Indiana Jones, if you don't know, had a severe case of food poisoning on set. So when the cameras rolled, instead of bringing out his whip to fight this guy for a long fight scene, he pulled out his pistol and just shot him and walked off. And it was such a funny thing that the filmmakers actually decided to keep it in the final cut. And that's why that famous scene is such a standout. So there you have it. Those were 5 accidental scenes in popular movies. Hope you enjoyed that. I can't wait to do more of these, guys. We have got a bunch of content lined up for you guys in the next coming days and weeks and months, and hopefully years. We'll see where it goes.
How long do you think you'll be with us?
I hadn't really planned it out, but I was thinking, forever.
I've had a great time on this first video. I hope you guys have had as much fun as I have. This being my first video, it may have been a little rough at some points, but of course I'm gonna learn. You guys are gonna learn with me. So if you guys did like what you just watched and you had some fun and you enjoyed it and you thought I had some kind of potential, please like, comment, and subscribe. It means a lot. I'm excited to see where this goes, and I hope you guys are too. So until next time, this has been Austin on Scene to Screen.